Good morning, very warm welcome everyone. It's Marta. How is everyone today? I hope you're well. I've started to show you my desk. It's still clean. It's day 2. I've cleaned up after yesterday project and now I am just starting a new one. For my today's card, I was actually inspired by the color combination of those little enamel dots. I was trying to put some stuff back on the shelf, and when I opened one of the drawers, I've seen those enamel dots, and I thought like, oh, these colors are looking really nice together. So let me just play a little bit with them. So I've come up with idea to create fairly simple card. This will be a great idea for those who are looking for like last minute birthday or other occasion card, just something to do on the go. Now I'm gonna be working on watercolor paper because I really like it. It has this fine lovely texture which is really nice, and then it's kind of a stiff one. The one I have is like 300 GSM, so it's really nice and thick, and this is why I'm choosing it. Plus I do think that it's taking the moisture really well, and those colors, they are blending here really nicely. Now, one of my ink pads, the spoon sugar, it's quite dry. I should probably invest in buying the re-inker. And this is something I may tell you, like I don't buy my re-inker straight away because I've noticed, and that was something I did before with a different range of the different brand of the stamp ink pads. I've bought re-inkers and I never hardly use them. I know there's lots of techniques like you can use them up in different way, but I'm just saying that because I'm not really much stamper, I do think that it's better to actually invest in having more colors rather than buying like a full set with rinker and spend money that way, because you don't know if you're gonna be, using up this color. If by some time, like here, I have lots of different colors of distress oxide ink, but very few is actually the one which are requiring re-inker. So after a time I could tell myself like, okay, this is the colors I should buy, rather than buying it up front and spending a lot more money than I need, really, because I'm not going to be using all of the colors. Now I did a little bit splotchy blending on the area, on the butterfly and the circles, and then I add the texture with the text stamp. And for the circle bits, you can see here, I did a little bit outer edge, and this is the way of kind of a cheating matte and layers. If you will go around the area with the ink pad, you will be able to create kind of a look which will resemble like having the second layer underneath with the darker color tone. And here, this is what I'm saying, that the ink pad is quite dry, so I'm really pressing it hard on a pad, but there's not so much color coming off, but still it's really nice. This one is still gonna be looking good, especially after I add those pinkish color piece out on the outside, this little frame around, and then the text stamp. Always make sure if you're using two different colors that you actually clean up really well in between, because that way you can transfer a little bit of the ink, not only to your ink pad but also to your project. And I'm trying for the pink to stay pink and then green to stay green, so it would not be well if on one of them I would have the other color mix up. Here you can see I am just going around this circle, and I'm adding this additional border, and this is helping to create this kind of a matte and layer effect, but it's also something which nicely giving the dimension and definition. Once you place your circle on a white piece of the card or something, there will be way more defined and popping out from the background. And to give the depth to the butterflies, I did a little bit shading in the center and then going around the outer edge of the butterfly wings. Now I have this baby powder, and I've just checked, this is 2019, so this bottle of the baby powder is with me like 5 years, and I'm kind of like a halfway through, a little bit more than that. And I've been using it for the embossing, for creating my texture paste. There is actually a video on my channel with the homemade recipe for a texture paste with this baby powder. So if you like, you can check that one as well. And this is something which is like a replacement of those like embossing body, like those little pillows and things like that. And this was costing me like fraction of the price. I think I've paid like £1 or something for the whole bottle, and I'm having it for 5 years now. Here I am stamping the butterfly, and if you like to have good quality stamped image on a vellum or anything else as well, what you have to make sure that first and foremost your ink pad is really well juicy, like it's not dry, you've got it properly, you know, it's properly wet, so that will give you a good impression. And secondly, once you pat your ink pad on the stamped image, you just press it on the area where you want it to stamp, and do not press too hard. Sometimes, especially if you're using the clear stamps instead of the rubber one, if you press too hard, you can actually kind of make the image looking a little bit more thicker line than they should, and sometimes that could look odd. What I'm doing, I am just pressing firmly but not too much, and I am letting it stay in the same position for a few seconds. Just give a time for the ink to actually transfer from your stamp to the paper. Once you hold it in the same place for 3 or 4 seconds, rather than just stamp it and take it off immediately, just let it be for a couple seconds, like count to 3 or count till 5 before you take it off. That way you will have a better stamped image, because your ink will actually have a time for sipping into the paper. And it's very important, especially with the vellum, is kind of a slippery surface, so it's important to keep it like, you know, steady and don't move around, so you're not gonna smudge your image. Now for my card, as I've mentioned, it's gonna be very easy card, and I wanted to create something for Postal, which will be, you know, postage friendly, I would say. There's lots of your friends who are watching me from America and other places as well, and I know that the postage in your country is more expensive, and many times when I'm making those bulky cards, I kind of get the same question popping, saying like, oh yeah, it's nice, but how would you post it? How would you, you know, for the bulky cards, just to oh, I'm sorry, I'm losing my voice, but for the bulky cards, what I am doing is I usually either give them in person, like, you know, in hand, just to the recipient, or I will pack them in a greeting box, but then they will go as a postage, like a postal box rather than envelope. So that's just to answer your question, but not necessarily. If you like the design, you're not always have to add the bulky flowers. You can then replace them with something more flat, like a stamped image of the flower, and then you will be good to go. There's always a way to work around something, like, you know, if you like the design and you think that it's not good for a posting, then try to switch the bulky, like you know, half back, those half flat pearls which are bulkier, just replace them with enamel dots. If there's like 3-dimensional flowers, just create a more flat you know, flower composition or something like that. So there's always a way to work around something. Now here I am matching those 2 layers, like a butterfly vellum piece with the paper, and I actually did a mistake on the first one. I didn't roll the paper itself, only after I glued the vellum portion. I was just like, oh no, I didn't curl it, but I've tried to curl them both together and it worked fine as well. However, it was easier to work when they were separately, like to roll up the vellum and the paper before joining them together. And here I just love how these two looks, those 2 butterfly looks like. And I was thinking for a minute, shall I put green on green or and pink on pink, or just mix them up? But then I thought they will be maybe popping up the color wise more if I will just switch them in place. So here I am adhering the pink one on the green circle, and then green on the pink. And once I had this card here, I thought like, I really would like to have something in a butterfly center. So I just went to my shelf and pick up my set of dies with different butterflies, and I found this very thin butterfly body. I think that was Marianne design, the dies of the butterflies. I will have a look, but this one was very old. I probably have it for like 6 or 7 years, so it may be retired by now. Basically, very many of my supplies are actually going into retirement stage, but just to let you know, my friends, keep on using what you have. Like if I have lots of dies with the butterflies, I am less urgent to pay for another set because I have something. And if you don't have, if you cannot find the one which I am using because it's already retired, there's a whole section of the newer products you can choose from. So that will be good for you as well. So just to say that you know, it's always a way for finding a supplies, or probably if you search in your stash you will find something. Here it's a final look, a little bit closer for how this card turned out, and let me know if you like it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you do, please give a like, say hi in a comment, and share it. Have a wonderful day everyone, and bye bye.